Arsenal avoiding defeat at the Etihad for just the second time in 9 years. The result means Liverpool now lead the way, and for the neutral, it was a 90-minute yawn. Speaking on the final word, Troy Deeney says he thinks the Gunners' performance shows they're more worried about City than they are about Liverpool in the title race.
You know what he said to me? He said they're more worried about Man City. And we spoke about this off air. I think they're more worried about Man City than they are Liverpool. I think they're going, if we could just stay ahead of City, they think Liverpool are going to drop points somewhere. So that's what he said to me. Just get a job here, do the job, get on. They'll be in that change room now feeling like that was a win. That was what job done, get home. And now they're staying in front.
More concerned about City than Liverpool. What do you make of that, Andy?
Well, you can only worry about who you're up against when you're playing against them, and so of course, you know, look, Mikel Arteta has had a lot of change out of Pep, has he? I mean, I know this season they beat him in the reverse fixture, but I'm worried a little bit sometimes that Mikel feels he's got to kind of try and outdo Pep a little bit tactically and all of that with all that sort of stuff. Well, yesterday I thought his team were spot on. I really did. I don't think they needed to go there and go crazy. I said a few weeks ago, Jeff, that I don't fancy Arsenal to be 4 points clear at this stage, excuse me, and see it out and win the title. I think where they are is absolutely perfect for where they need to be. Honestly, there's nothing in it. 2 points behind Liverpool. That's, you know, it's a huge ask for any of these teams. I just said to you a few moments ago in the break, do you think one of those three can win all of their league games? Do you think one of the three will win all of their league games? It's a lot to ask, isn't it? It is. There are some that have got kind of fixtures. Arsenal have got really tough April.
Really tough.
They got real heavy schedule coming up with the Bayern games as well. But is one of those three going to win all of their games between now and the end of the season? I think one of them could do it, but it could be any one of them. Could be any one of them.
We want to hear from you this morning. 03717 223344, the number to tell us if Arsenal were a disgrace, as some callers have suggested. 81089 if you want to text us. Or was it the perfect away performance and a great point in the title race? Pick up the phone. Let us know what you thought. Joining us now to tell us his thoughts is broadcaster and Gunners fan Harry Symeou. Morning to you, Harry.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Morning, Harry.
Harry, I'm going to suggest to you that maybe this was a glorious opportunity missed for Arsenal, bearing in mind that City were without Ederson, Walker, Stones, lost Nathan Ake, De Bruyne and Foden way off the pace. Were they too negative?
Not in my opinion, Jeff. I think when you look at sort of the fact that Arsenal were able to take 3 points from the reverse fixture at the start of the season, if you'd have said to Mikel Arteta, would you take 4 points from City and 4 points from Liverpool? He'd have absolutely bit your hand off. So I think your point is valid about the fact that City had a few players missing. They still had a £200 million plus worth of a defence out there, though. And they still had Erling Haaland and Foden and De Bruyne and Rodri and all, you know, Bernardo Silva, all the top players in attack. So Arsenal had to go there and be defensively sound. Last year, it was Arsenal have got a soft underbelly, Arsenal are soft-centred, and they bottled it when it really, really matters. They go there now, they put in a strong defensive performance. Okay, they were lacking in attack, there's no doubt about that, but they've managed to stop a side that scored in 57 consecutive home games from finding the back of the net, and they've got a positive result out of it. I can't really understand the criticism that's come in Arsenal's way. Was the game dull? Maybe at times for the neutral, but you know what? It's not Arsenal or Manchester City's responsibility to go out there and entertain the neutral. They need to go out there and get the best result that they can for their side. And I think when you listen to the Arsenal players speak after the game, it was clear that nobody was celebrating a draw. They weren't jumping up and down at the final whistle. There was none of that. There was maybe an acceptance that, you know, maybe a chance was missed, like you say, and that's the winning mentality that you want to hear. But I think they were content quietly with the fact that they'd gone there and avoided defeat.
Who was your best player for the Arsenal yesterday?
It's interesting because William Saliba got given the man of the match, and I thought he was outstanding at the back, but I think Gabriel was the one for me yesterday. He kept Erling Haaland really quiet, and not only was he switched on throughout the entire game, didn't give him an inch, but he was so physical as well. And I think this was the moment where, you know, all season long, I think Arsenal fans have been saying Gabriel's been excellent, Gabriel's been excellent. And Saliba's the one that always gets the love from the kind of wider footballing world. I think yesterday should have been the day where the rest of the footballing world woke up and said, hold on a minute, Gabriel has come up to a whole new level as well. So for me, it was him.
I agree with you, Harry. He was absolutely brilliant. And the reason I suggested that maybe this was a game that Arsenal needed to win is because I looked at your fixtures, you know. You got Spurs and Manchester United and Brighton away. You got Villa and Chelsea at home. You've got a couple of Champions League games at least to fit in there as well. It's a heck of a tough run. So I just thought that at a certain stage of the game, when Manchester City looked to be no threat whatsoever, you know, that you didn't go for the jugular. I mean, it took until, the 77th minute before Martinelli came on, which left me scratching my head a bit.
Yeah, I think Martinelli was a major fitness doubt going into the game. So I think there was always a need to maybe protect him a little bit. He did bring Trossard on before that to try and give them a little bit something different on the wide left position. Look, I agree with you. In an ideal world, Arsenal go out there and they have a little bit more in attack. But I also think when you've and Andy will know, when you've been defending for 70 odd minutes of a game, when the opposition have had 76% of the possession at points, it's quite difficult then to flick into attack mode and sort of do everything right. Is it an opportunity missed? Probably, when you look at the fixtures, because as you say, Arsenal, for me, have the worst running of the three by quite some distance. And, Liverpool and Manchester City have, I think really similar run-ins, but you factor in that Manchester City are in the Champions League and have those two games at least against Real Madrid. I'd say theirs is harder than Liverpool's. It's Liverpool's to lose now. It really, really is. But as you guys were saying, to go on and win the remainder of your Premier League games is a big ask. And if you do that, you deserve to win the league. So for me, yesterday was about going there and staying in it. When Liverpool and City met a couple of weeks or a few weeks back and Arsenal had a home game against Brentford, everybody accepted that Arsenal were going to make up ground that weekend or should make up ground. This time it was Liverpool's turn. It's just the way it goes, the swings and roundabouts of a title race.
Do you think you're capable of winning every league game, Harry? Do you think you can? Because you might need to do that.
I think Arsenal are capable. I think the team is good enough. Like, Man United away is a tough game, obviously, but I think Arsenal are better than United at this stage. So why wouldn't I think that they can? The same with Tottenham. But I don't think Arsenal are going to win every league game. I think for Arsenal to win the league, they're going to need those two sides to drop points. That's why for me it was imperative that they stayed ahead of at least one, and they did that with Manchester City. But Liverpool are the team to really fear now, because their running, as I say, I think is the best one.
Harry, great, very considered reaction, mate. Thanks for joining us.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.